Yes, hello there, lovely people, and welcome. Hello there, lovely people, and welcome once again to the Change of Life board brought to you by your dearest Ernestina Eshenru, aka Tislesta. As you know, it's such a great day and a wonderful day the Lord has blessed us with. It's not everybody who is so fortunate to have today. Not everybody is so lucky to to enjoy the mercies of God today. Not everybody is sane today, but if you and I, we're just swimming in the pool of life, being at the mercies of God, then we say, Father Lord, we bless your name and we salute your supremacy for how far you've brought us. We say, Glory, glory be unto your holy name, dear Lord. Okay, thank God it's a Saturday, and today I'm just doing everything with you. We are having the discussion together. As you all know, today we're just talking about something, and we are talking about the cry of the abused child. The abused child has a whole lot to say. The abused child has a lot to talk about. The abused child has a lot to share. But sometimes, who is to speak for these children? Who is to go in for these children? Who is going to speak for them, and who is going to listen to the cry of these children? Due to this, especially by a child, by a parent or caregiver, by a parent or caregiver. So these are some of the ways that people neglect our children, that when we don't know. People think that when we cause physical harm or sexual abuse to children, that is what we only termed as that is what is only termed as child abuse. But I just want you to know that when we neglect children to it causes them child abuse. As we go through furthermore, we are going to learn how you're just going to know how these neglect issues affect these children. We're just going to get into it and know everything. So as you come online, as I'm saying, just please do well to just share it. Do well to share so that everybody is going to be a blessing out of this wonderful message here. Every month, a lot of cases are being recorded over the world on this child abuse. Yes, when you are to go to Wikipedia, Wikipedia records that in every month, over 8,000 people, over 8,000 cases are being recorded on child abuse issues, whereby children's lives are being tormented, whereby children's lives are being endangered, all in the name of this child abuse thing that we are talking about. Now let's look at something. Child abuse mostly physically and psychologically affect these children. Why do I say physically and not emotionally affect these children? Physically, psychologically connects with emotionally. So when a child is being affected what psychologically, it connects with the child what emotional sense. As your psychology, it talks about what the mind, it talks about your mind. So your brain works with what your emotions, directing it to what your heart. So this is what the children mostly face. Most face these sexual and physical abuses in our environment. What we mostly see that most kids are facing this child abuse in form of what physically and physically and sexually abusing them. There have been a whole lot of cases going on around the world that most of us we've heard about. A whole lot of people that put a whole lot of cases that people are being talking about. How do we see in our neighborhood? What do you see in your neighborhood? What is that woman doing to that child? What is that man doing to that child in the neighborhood? There are cases whereby we have to stand up and speak for these children. These children have no voice. Just imagine a child who has lost his or her parents, living with just a caretaker, living with just a family member. That is why I've teamed this message. Treat me as your own. These children needs our care. These children need the kind of support we can give to these children, the kind of treatment we should give to these children is nothing but love. Just treat me one as what? As your own. I don't need to I am your child, either I am your child or I am not your child. Either you gave birth to me or you didn't give birth to me. This is the time to stand up bold. I stand in as ambassador to speak against child abuse. Child abuse is becoming rampant in our society. Child abuse is affecting most lives. Child abuse is destroying a whole lot of lives in our society. The healing process is really tough, but it can be easier when you avail yourself. Just imagine somebody who has been hurt, who has been abused sexually when this person was a child. Supposing you were the one, how would you feel? Somebody who has been a child who has been abused and assaulted physically, a child who has faced the changes, a child who has not putting back. How is this child going to stand out? It affects their life totally, and they intend find it so hard to take about. They intend find it so hard to discuss. These children, a whole lot of lives are shattered just because of this topic. A whole lot of lives are being endangered all over the world just because of child abuse. Stop child abusing, stop abusing children, stop threatening their lives, stop endangering their lives, because child abuse does nothing but causes harm to the human health. For a child abuse person, somebody who has been a victim of child abuse, moving from it to become a surveyor, to talk about it, to maltreat others who are found in the act, who are facing this act, is not so easy. Talking and having people who are facing this act is never so easy. But it lies on you and I. That is why I always say this: together we stand, divided we fall. If we want to stand up for these children, yes, we can stand up for these children. If indeed we want to talk about these children, yes, we can help these children out. But it takes us. It doesn't take only me. It takes you and I to cause this change. What are the forms of this child abuse? We have physical child abuse. This physical child abuse is when you see, most people in health misquote discipline to child abuse. One might think that you are disciplining somebody, but in reality, you are not disciplining this child, but rather you are just causing a total harm to this child. A whole lot of work being imposed on them. Ask yourself, are you going to make your child do this huge job? The child barely rests. There are people who travels to most countries in the aid of working, and instead of them working, they are being abused physically. Physical abuse is not only when we use canes on you. No. Physical abuse comes in so many forms. Physical abuse comes in so many dimensions. The number of work being imposed on these children. They do what else they can take. They do a whole lot of work that they can take. Beating, caning, physically causing harm to them. Remember, they have their rights, just that they have no voice. Today, yes, I stand as the voice of these children. What did that child do so hard that you heated an iron and bent the skin? What did this child do so hard that you put the hand in fire to burn it off? There are so many news going on, and I look at it and I just get so sad. Recently, I just saw a video, and somebody just put the child's hand into what? Into fire. Just the reason being that the child just went to take food from the kitchen. What are the leaders of the country doing? Where are our leaders? Where are our masters? Where are the social security services? Where are the social security services? Where are the domestic services? People who are there, the human rights services, are they not working anymore in our countries? Let's not leave it to the social security services alone. You and I, we can be each other's keeper. When somebody is maltreating a child in your society, just don't look at it and keep quiet. It's hard time you stand out and stop this. Stop child abuse. The life of every child matters. These children need nothing but they need our love. They need nothing but they need your love too. When he or she was a child, are you gonna treat this person same? If this person was of your blood, are you going to treat them same like this as you were doing? Because the person is not of your child. Look at how you abuse them physically. By you abusing them physically, have you thought about how the impact it makes on their lives? Do you know something? Majority of adults who maltreat others suffered from child abuse. Because why? Because that was how they were being trained. That is what they went through. That was the procedure they went through. So that is how they train others too. Because they were maltreated. They weren't given the love. They weren't given the attention. So they treat others same. You see, it has had impact on most people's future. Maltreating a single child, you aren't only doing it to this child, but you are maltreating a generation. Because what you do today, the impact you put in them today, that is what they're going to go by tomorrow. Physical child abuse. We also have the emotional. As you abuse them physically, it goes way towards emotional. These children are affected emotionally. The lives of these children are being tortured emotionally. Due to this, they find it difficult to let go of the pain. Somebody who was being abused sexually so many times by an uncle, by a relative, by somebody, by a caretaker. Somebody who was being abused sexually. These children find it difficult to erase from their memories. These children find it so hard to forget about it. These children find difficulties in how to let go of the pain that happened during that sexual intercourse. Not to talk about somebody whose virginity was taken, all in the name of child abuse. Just all in the name of child. There are so many people who are suffering from this child abuse in our society. Who is to speak for them? Who is to talk for them? There is one thing that's what I always tell you this. Together we stand, divided we fall. We stand as a whole and we stand as a nation. Together you and I can make all the change. Together you and I can transform lives. Together you and I can make these children stand up. Together you and I, we can put the smiles on these children. The society, the social security services are not everywhere. But you and I, we are everywhere to stand up for them. Child abuse is indeed tormenting lives. Child abuse is indeed causing so harm. Child abuse is indeed turning up a generation. Children are being abused psychologically. It affects their memory. It affects everything of them, right from the onset of their thinking through their heart, and it affects them. Do we know the effects that we are imposing on these children? Do you know what we are taking away from these children? Do you know what we are doing to these children? Do you know what we are taking away from them? We are taking away their love. We are taking away their self-esteem. We are taking away their confidence. We are taking away what they can do most. Child abuse, what makes it abuses children psychologically. But abuse, these children now lacks the confidence to move on. These children now lacks the confidence. Their self-esteem is taken away. I was being raped. I was being beaten. I was neglected by my parents. Somebody else treated me up. Somebody took care of me. I had to suffer. I had to have sex with people that I didn't love. I had to stand out because that was the only way I could feed myself. That is where child abuse is going. Low self-esteem. Now, these people even lack the confidence to go into the public. These people lack the confidence to speak out. Their dreams are shattered. Dreams are being shattered just all in the name of child abuse. I just want to ask you this question. What has this child done so much to you that you hate him or her much? What did the child do? Where did I go? Yes, the child just says, I should ask you this question. Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? If I've offended you, just forgive. Sometimes we just push the quarrels we have on some people's children, parents who are dead and gone. We are having problems with their parents who are dead and gone. Then we push it up onto these children. Then these children's lives are being affected for something they know nothing about. These children knew nothing about. It was just between you and their parents, not you and the kids, not you and the children. So I want to ask you this question. People who are abusing lives out there, I just want to ask you just a simple question. The chances I should ask you this question: where did I go wrong? Just tell me, where did I go wrong? And I will apologize to you. Why the beatings when I make just a mistake? Why the boiling of water onto me to just hurt my skin when I just make a mistake? Why the heating of iron to harm my skin just because of a mistake? We are all human. Treat me as your own. I don't ask much as an abused child, but what I ask is treat me as your own. You just saw your friend more treating the child. Instead for you to go by the truth, you support. Where did I go wrong? What did I do? What did I do to deserve this punishment? What did I do to go through this pain? What did I do to go through this torture? Why are you having sex with me whilst I'm not into it? Why are you beating me so hard? Just because I took food from the kitchen. Is that the reason why you put my hand in Venice? Is that the reason why you made me have cuts? Is that the reason why you gave me a mark on my skin? Why? Where did I go wrong? Was it so wrong for me to eat from the kitchen? Supposing I was your child, would you have touched my life this way? Supposing I was one of your own, would you have caused me this pain? I don't believe that you would have caused me this pain if I was your child. The abused child cries out, why? The question of the abused child is always why. It's always I wish that I had my parents. Maybe death has taken my parents away. Maybe death has taken my parents away. But my question is why? Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? I speak for the abused children. These children, they need nothing but our love. These children, they need nothing but for us to bring them closer to us. That's why I say treat me as your own. Just treat me as your own. If I was your own, you would have done everything better within your power to give me the best education. If I was your own, you would have done everything better, to give me a brighter future. But because I'm not your own, what do you do to me? You just make me go to the streets to hawk. And